Good morning. I'm sitting here at a rest area, and we're going to go to Good morning. I'm sitting here at a park and ride waiting for my buddy Jayce to get here. We're heading to the Chapter 9 Muskies Inc. meeting. It's an annual meeting that they have every year. That's the name, annual. And we're going to go there and look at some baits. We're going to talk to the manufacturers of those baits. And then they'll have raffles. They'll have food there as well. It's a pretty good time. I went there last year. I did a little bit of filming, but I didn't create a video out of it, so I was kind of disappointed in that. But I'm going to try to do that this year, get a good video of going down there and talking to all the manufacturers, and then also sitting through the meeting. One of the highlights of the meetings is when the Department of Fish and Wildlife comes in, and they kind of give updates on the muskie fishing and how it's going. They also give updates on what they're doing to keep the streams in good conditions. And then if there's anything that the fishermen should know, they also talk a little bit about where the fish migrate to and from. Some of those muskies that they've tagged have traveled 60 miles upstream and downstream. So it's pretty interesting to find out what the habits and the locations of these muskie are. I'll introduce you to Jayce. I started fishing with Jayce probably about 4 or 5 years ago. We started not muskie fishing, but we started catfishing together. He always said when he catches his biggest catfish, he'll start going muskie fishing with me. So I'm hoping that he's caught his big cat and then he'll start going muskie fishing with me. And then I also would like to do a little bit of catfishing with him. I'd like to take him over to the pond and see if we can't catch him some of those big channel cats that are there. So sit back and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Muskies Inc. annual meeting. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Ready to do this thing?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
How y'all doing?
How are you? Hey, Jim.
Really? Start up here. It's a little.
Looks like a shad.
How you doing?
How you doing, guys?
All right.
That's blue and white. Man, that's perfect. That's a really nice bait. When Crane gets here, that's actually. Yeah, that's a good bait. These long ones too. These are more minnow type baits. They do pretty well. I'm not seeing so many tails before.
They put the hooks on them when you buy them.
Huh.
They put the hooks on them for you when you buy them.
Yeah, they do. This color's good too. That's a crappie color there. I like that.
Want that?
Yeah, I want that.
Okay. Draw.
But I don't have. You don't have any change yet? We'll hold on to it. I got 20 bucks. So I got
What's your name?
Brian.
Nice to meet you, Brian.
Nice to meet you, Doug.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And you're
Lloyd.
Lloyd?
Lloyd, L-L-O-Y-D.
I didn't know that was your first name. I just always call you Jones.
Yeah, Lloyd.
and
Mine's Irma.
Irma, nice to meet you, Irma.
Nice to meet
Nice
you
to meet
too,
you.
honey.
Okay. Good. How long have you been doing this?
73.
73. we
Since
started.
73?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And what's your biggest muskie you ever caught?
50 inch.
50?
Yeah.
Where'd you catch that?
Pocono.
Little Canal? Were you trolling or were you casting?
No, casting.
Casting.
Yeah.
What kind of bait were you using?
Doomsday.
Jones?
Yeah.
Which one?
Standard.
That right there?
16 standard.
6-inch standard. Now you do all the painting, right?
Yep.
And then you turn. So how do you make these baits? What goes all
By
involved?
hand, I was square feet away.
So do you turn them on a lathe or you do them
No, that's
hand carved?
It's got to be all done by hand.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now how do you get? I was interested in this. How do you get the line to go through? Like the wire, you had to put the wire
Oh,
through it.
yeah, it's got to be run completely clear through the inside.
So do you drill it? How do you get that thing
It's
in?
got to be drilled and everything
Wow.
through it. Yeah,
Amazing.
because see, these don't have a slit or nothing now. A lot of people, make them and slaps two together, glues them together. Nah, this is one solid bait. I mean,
So when you, what made you get into building baits?
because you couldn't buy nothing.
Couldn't find anything?
Yeah.
I've
The
heard a lot
only
of
thing,
people say
only thing
that.
was that was creek chub.
Yeah, creek chubs are good.
Mainly.
I have quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Those are really
Creek
good
chub,
baits.
just 2 or 3 baits that was out and you couldn't find nothing. And,
So how long does it take you to build one of these?
oh, I wouldn't know really.
Because we've never sat down and
No.
figured it out, really.
I mean, I'll work all day on maybe 5 or 6 even baits. You never know.
You know, it's just almost not worth it. The amount of work that goes into that, and the
Right.
craftsmanship.
The thing
for
of it
$20
is that you just couldn't buy nothing.
Yeah.
And I like musky fish, and the boy does, and the woman. And you've got to make them if you're going to have anything to do. You know.
Well, you know what? You can also say, well, I want a bait that does this certain action. I can't find it, so I'm going to go ahead and...
You can make it deep, shallow,
Yeah.
whatever way you want it.
And then the colors, too.
Yeah.
It seems like you kind of know what works in this
Oh, yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And then you can make those kind of baits
Yeah.
that work.
Yeah, and that's the solid harness. There is nothing that's solid harness clear through it. I mean,
Do you have a website?
huh?
Do you have a website?
Yeah, jonesbase.com.
Yeah.
Jones Bait. We've got crane lures here. I've got a bunch of these. These are awesome baits. That's the 207. So who makes these? Is it your husband that makes them?
She makes.
Is this your husband? No. Oh, I was gonna say.
I have a lot. He cuts them out. I do all the painting.
So he cuts them and you do all the painting. You put all the hardware on them too, right?
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get all the painting down? Is that difficult?
No, I just started. I could paint.
You've probably done so many now.
Yeah.
You do it in your sleep. don't
Yeah,
you?
exactly. Yeah, and usually when I paint, if I go over to paint, I don't just paint one of this color. I put like 70 some on there, and that's what color gets painted. Like the whole 70 will get painted, or whatever amount I put on there will get painted that same color. It might not be the same style bait, but it'll be that color. Like if I'm painting black and silver, that's what's going to get painted.
Do you do any custom colors anytime, or you just do them all pretty much the
I
same?
just do them about.
It's probably a little easier that way.
Yeah, and then the paint costs so much, if you start getting different colors and stuff lined up, it's going to cost you more than what you're going to get out of the baits. So.
Yeah. Now the cranes are known just all over the place. I've seen people in Minnesota and all over the country using them. They're
Yeah,
well
we
known.
have a distributor out of Chicago.
Really?
Distributor in Wisconsin.
Same thing though. You do all yours by hand, right?
Right.
No machinery in there,
Right.
other than maybe cutting the lip or something.
Yeah, he cuts the lips out on the. And then of course, you use a router to route the shape of them and all that.
Yeah, the routers. Yeah.
Right.
Man,
That's all.
they're pretty big.
Help yourself.
So how long you been in this business?
1973 is when we started.
1973.
Yeah.
What's your biggest muskie?
53 and a half in Canada.
Nice. What part of Canada?
It was in Eagle Lake, Ontario.
Oh, I love Eagle Lake. I want to go there so bad.
Yeah.
What section did you go to?
Niven Bay.
Niven Bay. I've not
That's
heard of
the
that.
southern part, hard to get
Oh,
to.
is it?
Yeah, we drove down in and fished off at the lower end. There was Bear Narrows is about halfway down. But we went on another 50 more miles on down. That's back whenever you could camp on Queensland. Can't do that no more. You have to park, you have to camp at a designated spot. And but yeah, it was a long time ago now. Real skinny fish.
What year was that?
Oh, about 1978 or 9.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but yeah, we drove a 73 Ford truck up there. I fished the first time we ever went. Didn't know nothing about nothing.
So what made you start getting into building baits?
Well, the first bait we had that we really had good luck on was a Mustang, Fluger Mustang lure. And my cousin Billy Crane, he had one, and we was using it. He said, this can't get this thing to work. So we got to bending around on with a pair of pliers, and I couldn't get it to work either. And I got to looking on the lip, it said it was made in Hong Kong.
Oh, well, that's a problem right there.
Yeah, and I said, right there's the problem, right. And I said, guess what? That's it for me. I'm gonna start making fishing lures, and that was the day I started. Yeah, first bait I started making was an 8-inch jerk bait. That was my first. That was my premier bait. Yeah.
Those are pretty.
Yeah, that put me on the map. And then since then, I make all kinds of different baits of all different kinds.
So how'd you get the name Amabama?
I live in Amma.
Oh, okay.
And I liked Alabama, so the singer's Alabama, so I just added Bama to Amma.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So since 1973, yeah, they collect a lot of baits that I make because all of them are signed. They're all signed and dated. So it's like that one. See, it's the Alabama, original Alabama 2018. That'll always be there.
Yeah.
That way you can say, you know how old it is. Made it this year.
What's your favorite bait of all these?
It's an 8-inch jerk bait. It's probably my favorite bait.
Where is it? Do you have them here?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, that right there?
That's it, right there. That was made off of a shad that was snagged out of Elk River, accidentally, yeah.
No way.
And then I laid it on a board and laid that shad on that board and drew around that board and then made the pattern, and then I started trying to get it to where it could get it to work. It took a pretty good bit, you know, to get them to work. And
What's your best color, you think?
oh, that's a good color.
That one right there?
The white's a good color.
I agree. White and silver, I have a lot of luck
Yeah,
with.
white and chartreuse is depends on the weather and the depth and the color of the water. I make turkey calls on the side.
Yeah, I like that. I heard you doing it.
So simple that a kid can do it. So you can hand that to a 4-year-old kid.
Sounds just like it too.
That's 4 inches long.
Do you turkey hunt?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I killed 127 in West Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're out there.
I bought this because I didn't want to have to carry one of them great big, it's called a pocket yellow. See? Goes in your pocket.
Do you have a website you sell off of?
I used to. Whenever I went from 95 to 8.1, they lost me right there. I figured, well, it's good enough. I ain't going back.
That's been a while.
You can go online. You can go online, and I'm all over there. You know, they show you how I make them, and
Well, I buy a lot of baits off of YouTube, or not YouTube, off of eBay, and I see Amazons all over the place.
they
and
are
cranes too.
Yeah,
I see a lot of
cranes.
cranes.
We're there,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, these baits are nationwide. It's amazing.
Channel 8 TV, they sent a fella up there with a film crew to film me one time in my shop. And they did, it's on there too. You can go hunt that up. Brad Rice. He was their film man up there, and he filmed that whole thing. And said, but I can't stay about 30 minutes, though I can stay for 2.5 hours. I had to run.
So the
Wing bone.
Indians made it? How is that? What's that made of?
This is the wing bone. This 2 bones here,
turkey?
one, yeah, right there.
No way.
Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
They're pretty baits.
Yeah,
sure.
you've got a lot of time
Sure
involved
do.
in making that bait do what you would like for it to do.
And do you hand carve yours, or do you turn them on a lathe?
No, there's no lathe work.
No lathe.
Anytime it's not round and straight, it's no lathe work involved. What you do is I have my basswood cut 5.5 inches thick, just like a mine post. Okay, 5.5 inches thick, as wide as they can get it. Okay, you got a template. You got the template. Now this is not a template, but you like it. You lay it on there, and you mark it. It's lying on the bottom straight around. You turn it over, and you mark around it on the other side. Then you cut those out. And it's 5.5 inches thick. See, this thing will be that thick. I should have brought one, but anyway, after you get that made, that block, it looks just like that, only it's 5.5 inches wide. The next cut is this cut right here. And there's 28 steps per lure. And that step right there is the most important one.
Yeah, because that's got your angle.
That is it.
Yeah.
So it has to be that same angle as that right there. See right there? So that's a little, this is what they call a high, top runner, high run high. But anyway, you take that and put that on a table saw, and you set your blade like that right there, and you got a pattern piece. Everything's got a pattern. And you keep setting your saw on that angle on your table saw, where that blade will cut right up in there. And whenever that fits that your template, then you take one, you take one and you cut one. If it's not right, you've got to do some changing. But if you do it long enough and do some little trial and error on some smaller pieces to get that just right. But that is your most important piece.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then you route them, and then you cut your holes in, and you grind them round, and then you put the wire in. Now the wire is a one-piece wire. It goes all the way from this end to this end. In here. See?
You have to drill through that and then pull it all through, right?
That's right.
Wow.
Every one of them.
Yeah, really. And then you got to paint them, and then you have to put the epoxy on.
Well, the waterproof's next. Okay, you waterproof that because you got the holes in there.
Okay.
You dip them, you put them in waterproof for 15 minutes to soak them. Make them waterproof. They won't draw water. Wood and water do not
Yeah, they
mix.
don't mix.
And you want to. And this wood is like 12 parts per million when you're working on it. You don't want it higher, you don't want it lower. 12 parts is where you want to be. And once you get your right amount of lead in them holes, you cover everything up, then you dip it in white paint. Put the lip in last. Lip, see, there's no paint on the lips. See, there's no paint on the lips. See? So that lip goes in last. Then you put them in the creek and try them. If they run that way, if they run over that way, you bend it over that way a little bit. If it runs that way, you bend it over this way a little bit on the front here. That's stainless steel wire. It won't break, or you can bend it 50 times, it won't break. Pretty durable.
Awesome. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey gang, Jayce here. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the baits that I bought at the Muskie show. Just got back from it. Had a good time with Jayce and really enjoyed talking with all the manufacturers, and just want to cover some of the baits I picked up. I picked up 4 new baits, and then one of the baits that I had that was broken I got fixed. So the first bait I want to talk about is a crane bait. It's about 5.5, 6 inches long. I think it's the not the 207, I think it's 209. Black and silver, just an awesome looking bait. Nice thick profile on it, excellent colors, nice big square bill, probably runs about 4 to 8 feet, 2 to 4 I'd say. I think I remember Sharon saying. So bought this off of Crane Baits again. Excellent bait. So the next bait I'm going to talk about is a Jones bait. Picked this up. This has a curve to it. As you can see here, it's got a rounded lip, and then it's got a nice curve to it. This is a new color for them this year. It has a darker back with almost like a blue-gray on the sides with a kind of shad dot right here, the red eye, and then an orange belly. Jones signature bait. Interesting thing about this bait is the front hooks are flat here, and they ride up against the belly of the bait so that it doesn't scratch up your lures quite as much. So that's a Jones bait. Next bait's also a Jones bait. I really like this color pattern. This is something that I think this was a new pattern for them last year, and this has the curly tail. It's a screw on, so if you tear that up or it pulls off, you can always put a new one back onto it. Really nice color. I really dig this color. I have this in a bigger one, and it hooked into I hooked into a really nice sized muskie last year with it. So I look forward to this. This is going to look good. This I think will do really good in spring. Probably also some smallmouth will probably end up liking this bait. So kind of excited about that one. Next one is a Amabama from Bill Looney. Had a great interview with him while I was down there. This bait, I actually have a bait similar to this one. It's green. This one is more of a tiger color, almost an orange and white, and with the black on the top with the squared build. Very nice bait. I see fish behind this bait all the time in the green color that I currently have. So really excited to throw that this year. Then the last one is a bait that I bought from Amabama with Bill Looney, and this is a 10.5 inch crank that he's got in the tiger color, orange and black. white belly. And then again, he's got his name inscribed on there, Alabama, and 2018. So this is a new. Also, if you check out these hooks, these are new hooks that I put on. Very, very nice. These are Stinger hooks, and they're from, I'm trying to remember their owner hooks. The one thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the shaft. These hooks kind of bend in towards the shaft a bit, if you can see that. So it might help when it bounces off of wood. I don't think it'll hurt my hook up, but I guess we'll see. If I have a bunch of trouble with them, I may end up taking it out. So those are the baits that I picked up. I had a great time. I wish I could have stayed longer. My buddy had to get, Jayce, he had to get back. He had to pick up his boat. He's having a new system put in for fish finders. The Humminbird, the brand new Megas. They're 9 inches. He's had one in the front and the rear. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, and I want to get out there on the water with him and do a little bit of fishing and check them out. Might have to end up putting one on my boat. My wife doesn't like to hear that, but we'll see how that goes. Appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm really new to this. I've only been doing this for about a year, and I don't have a whole lot of videos out there. I'm trying to put more out. But if you could support me and give me a thumbs up, and then also subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a great day. We'll see you on the water.